Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows on WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J. Alongside the leader of Squad Squad, Kaliko Yachts, who has been beaten by time into submission, not here tonight. But who is here? The American Scooter Dust.
If you want to know where I've been working on my third studio album. It's titled A Million BB Rexes Equals One Conway Twitty. It drops summer 2023, and the first single, I'm Watching You, parentheses, Make That Stool, drops May 2023.
And it was a great week for Wrestling Wit as we entered our fourth year of doing this shit.
Woo! Pew, pew, pew.
And what a way to bring it in with an interview with DJ Hyde on Tuesday. Obviously, everybody knows who DJ Hyde is. A controversial subject, but it didn't stop us from having a great conversation. All things CCW and 2023, where they're going, where they want to be, and everything in between. I think the most surprising thing you might find in that interview, DJ has a Star Wars fan fiction. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, listen to that interview. And then on Wednesday we had one of our favorite guests of all time, Little Mean Kathleen, back on the show. Great catching up with Kathleen, and lots of things have happened to Kathleen in the last 2 years since we've talked about. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost 2 years. So you definitely want to catch that for one reason or another. And we should have some announcements coming up sooner rather than later. Check out our official Twitter handle at Wrestling with E for more information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing, and links to those interviews as well. Alright, we're in a new year. I would have liked to start out with saying it's a great day for wrestling, but unfortunately I cannot. As we started the new year, or getting into the new year, with the passing of Impact Wrestling commentator Don West.
God.
This really sucks. I mean, he was still a young guy, and he was such an instrumental part of those early days of Impact Wrestling TNA at that time. Just really disappointing. Really sucks, doesn't it, Scooter?
Yes, I mean, not to, turn a phrase here, but Don West really made an impact on Impact. Um, you know, there's very few people in this business that you never hear really bad stories about. Don West was one of those people. Yeah, he was loud. He was abrasive. Uh, if he was a salesman that wouldn't take no for an answer, literally and figuratively. And he brought such enthusiasm to even the most mediocre of product, both in his days in wrestling and on the home shopping network. It is it's an absolutely it is absolutely heartbreaking loss in the wrestling world.
And you said, bringing excitement to whatever he was doing, and you could tell that it was genuine. It wasn't forced. He tried to, like you said, make an impact to make the matches exciting for everybody to watch.
Yeah, you want to know how much of an impact he had on popular culture? Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell, yes, Ron Burgundy, and the Night at the Roxbury guy, actually parodied Don West and Don's co-host on the Home Shopping Network, Eddie Lewis, on 3 separate episodes of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, well, there you go. And I mean, again, it just sucks. But he was a big part of Impact Wrestling, TNA. Of the early days. He's always going to have that legacy, and obviously, thoughts and prayers to the family. No, Scooter.
Absolutely, thoughts and prayers to his wife of 30 years. 30 years, his wife Terry.
That's incredible. It just is. All right. From bad news to bad news, I would say.
Worse news.
um, Vince McMahon, once again CEO of WWE. And it's not like a fake CEO like Mercedes Mon. It's legitimate. It's happening. It's here. It's already in place. Scooter, I'm not really proficient in technical jargon, so could you kind of explain to everybody what this means and what's happening, in layman's terms?
Uh, I can definitely do it. It's not necessarily going to be in layman's terms. Uh, but well, let's just we'll go back a couple of months. Rumors abound that Vince McMahon wants to come back. That he claims that he got some bad advice and he believed his allegations would have blown over, which is honestly complete and total bullshit. I mean, he pulled a Weinstein, and he thinks he can get away with it. He thinks he's above that. I mean, that's typical Vince, and that's just to get started. Uh, that was revealed by the Wall Street Journal. Last Thursday, McMahon made the first steps to make his return to the company. And the first thing that came out of this is that he's looking to sell. We'll get into that. He brought back former co-presidents Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, who were actually let go in early 2020. But it is official with the SEC. McMahon is officially back on the board of directors. 3 existing seat holders removed, including the 2 that were involved in requesting the investigation to begin with.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
There's a whole lot of back and forth between McMahon, the board, and the SEC. That would just be a lot of just me just spouting on and on. WWE issued a press release today, and you know what? I have to say this, and I'm gonna break kayfabe here. As we are recording this, it's January 6th, and people all over the country now know what we associate January 6th with.
Vince McMahon returning.
Yeah, taking a page out of his pal Donnie's book, the Donnie book.
Donnie World Cup? from the new kid on the block.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. My boy Vince is coming back. He's great. Uh, let's see. This is from the official press release released today. Today we announced the founder of WWE, Vince McMahon, will be returning to the board. Said chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon, co-CEO Nick Khan, and chief content officer Paul Levesque. We also welcome back Michelle Wilson and George Barrios to our board of directors. As Vince McMahon stated himself, WWE has an exceptional management team in place, and I do not intend for my return to have any impact on their roles, duties, or responsibilities. Yeah, and I'm the Queen of England. In connection with the change in the composition of the board, in cooperation with Vince McMahon as majority shareholder. That is the important term here. Majority shareholder. Literally, Vince's last card to play in this. Majority shareholder literally forces his way back into a company that made it known he wasn't wanted anymore. And yet, because he still had that financial power to affect the company, they had no choice. It was like holding the company hostage. Whether or not the board of directors actually believes this is the best thing for all WWE shareholders remains to be seen. Joe Ellen Lyons Dillon, Jeffrey R. Speed, and Alan M. Wexler have been removed from the board. Two of them are responsible for asking for the inquiry into the allegations of Vince McMahon paying off these women. I believe also included is a promise by McMahon to pay back all the legal fees that the WWE exasperated in this debacle. So, yes, Vince McMahon, once again, back on the board. I can explain this in a way kind of like this. Mainly because the main idea going around is that Vince wants to prep the company for a sale, believing that the WWE is kind of ripe for a hostile takeover. Now, when some people ask why he would even want to sell off his legacy, and again, this selling it is not confirmed. There is an interested party in buying. I'll get into that right after this. Why would he want to sell off his legacy? Well, delusions of grandeur. He refuses to acknowledge why he was forced out and claims that it was bad advice. He thinks his ideas are the only ones that fans want to see, regardless of how the landscape of pro wrestling and its fan base evolves. He's stuck in this perpetual notion of, I built this empire, you can't have it. He thinks the WWE can't succeed without him, and likely believes that there hasn't been any success since his retirement, which is not true. It seems at this point, Vince realizes no one else shares his visions, and or is paranoid to the point that he would rather sell the company them believe that WWE can succeed without him. So it's a point of, you should share my view on something, but since you don't, I'm going to get rid of that something so that no one can be a part of it. Cutting off the nose to spite the face. And this all happens on January 6th, the 2-year anniversary of the insurrection. Uh, that's all we'll say about the insurrection. Now,
It was a great pick preview in 2002.
yeah, yes, and in 2003.
Did they have one in 2004? I don't think so.
No, no, 2004.
Didn't the insurrection
Um,
of 2001 lead to the plane ride from hell?
was that insurrection? No, rebellion. Brock was on that one, so
Let's say it's a hard maybe.
yeah, it it was definitely something from England.
It was an
There was
X
an
show.
all hands on deck meeting at WWHQ earlier this afternoon. It was not a talent meeting. It was held via Zoom to address Vince's return, his plans to pursue a sale of the company. So, assumedly, that's confirmed. He wants to sell off the company. This is essentially a fire sale where he'll strip down the company and sell off the pieces, essentially. Um, they did try to reiterate that there will be no changes to management or their responsibilities at this time. That's another key phrase. At this time. That's McMahon speak for just wait until I'm back in charge of creative.
Mm-hmm.
It was stressed to employees that day-to-day operations across the company are not changing. It was apparently the move with Vince was apparently seen as a big positive, and was made to give the company everything they needed to make the most of their future rights revenue sales, such as the new TV deals for Raw and SmackDown, among others, as well as to gauge the market for a potential sale of the company. Now, with the idea that with McMahon being back, the entire company would be on the same page in maximizing WWE's potential leading into the future. The idea is they would be looking at potential sale offers ahead of any rights fees negotiations in case that would be a greater benefit, such as being it more lucrative financially. Instead of another round of just selling TV rights. However, it was also greatly emphasized that a sale of the company may not happen, and it should not be assumed a sale will happen. The final say in all of this would go to McMahon, as he is the controlling shareholder. I think it was also mentioned that a possible avenue for the company would be for them to be taken private again. Well, that is huge. It's You see companies that are on the New York Stock Exchange, and they go out of business. That's common in business. Very rarely do you ever see a business decide to get taken off the stock market, make that conscious choice to privatize themselves again. Um, the uh, Apparently that might be the best outcome for shareholders. Again, the fans no longer matter. Um, other than that, that's really all the news about it specifically.
So should we start unpacking everything that
There's one final piece of news.
So
In in the time since this has broke, which has been maybe about 10, 12 hours, there is already an interested bidder and there are a couple potential suitors listed. Uh, the name at the top of this list is Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund.
Oh God.
Yeah. God, I don't know what to say about that, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Here, um, there are 5 other companies that are seen as potential buyers. We'll start from the bottom to the top. Global talent agency CAA. Highly unlikely, as although, while that might be the best thing for the talent because it would mean a union, a guild. Uh, Essentially, it would classify pro wrestlers as athletes and actors. Um, Liberty Media, who bought Formula One, Formula One Racing, for $4.4 billion back in 2016. Endeavor, who purchased a controlling stake in the UFC for $4 billion in 2016. There's a possibility that uh, NBC Universal, Comcast, and Fox could buy the rest of the company. They already own the rights to Raw and SmackDown. But, James, do you think you can tell me the name of the company at the top of this list, the second possible buyer for the WWE?
Tony Khan.
It is not Time Warner. Although it's a man who's quite a megalomaniac, like Tony. Amazon.
Well, but Jeff Bezos isn't Amazon anymore, is he?
He's still a controlling shareholder.
Oh, so he's a Vince McMahon.
Yeah, Amazon, they entered the sports business in a big way with $1 billion a year deal to exclusively stream Thursday Night Football through 2033.
Wow.
Now, I could see the WWE selling live streaming rights to Amazon. Then I would possibly think that the stuff on Peacock would get restructured and we'd get screwed over.
Like we always
But
do.
that's about it at this point. There will be more throughout the next couple of weeks, and then some. But I'll close with this, then we can unpack everything. To the people who thought Vince McMahon had finally stepped away from pro wrestling, well, you had to realize there was no chance in hell he was going quietly.
And now, so much to unpack here. Let's start off with the sale of WWE. You can't seriously think that Vince McMahon would sell WWE in any shape, way, or form. I
Oh,
mean, maybe
I
if
absolutely believe he would.
I don't think he would. I feel like he would rather die with it in his hands. And I mean, this is a case in point, but it's only been what, 4 months since he's been gone.
Yep. But
So I mean, he can stay 4 months away from WWE. Imagine not having anything to do with it at all, with selling the company.
The
And
thing, I think Vince is expecting to die while in control of the company.
oh yeah, for sure. Obviously the copyrights and where you can stream WWE, that's a lucrative deal. Then they sold the marketing rights for WWE to Peacock for like $2 billion. So I mean, yeah, that's obviously a big part of it. Of who gets to stream or who gets the network rights to Raw, SmackDown, NXT, etc., etc. Um, but just selling it, well, what? This is a crazy idea. What if Stephanie and Triple H bought it from him? Maybe he didn't. He doesn't give it to them. Hand it down. Maybe he makes them buy it from him.
The question is, since they're already shareholders, would they have enough to buy enough shares to make Vince not the majority shareholder anymore? The question is, see, the odd thing here is that we've heard stories in the past about Stephanie selling off certain blocks of stock. And I'm betting those were acquired by Vince.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it would. I'm not talking about a hostile takeover. I would say, if you're gonna sell the company, and this is Stephanie talking, if you're gonna sell the company, well, sell it to me. Sell me your stock. Sell me the company that was in our family for what? 4 generations at this point.
See, that's the thing. Because Vince has more shares, Stephanie can't go to him and say, "Oh, I want to buy you out."
How?
Uh, Vince Vince was not happy being a silent majority shareholder.
No, he was not.
So I really believe Vince has truly given in. We have WrestleMania, but to Vince, it's megalomania. Vince has become a true megalomaniac, and I'm not talking about Brutus Beefcake.
Did you if what he's saying actually comes to pass, are we even going to have WWE anymore, or are we just stuck with AEW and New Japan
Well,
and
that's
Impact?
the thing, because let's be real, even AEW with its roster bloat, AEW, New Japan, Impact, and you know what? Screw it. Let's throw Noah and Stardom in there. Let's throw some of the more recognized indies in there, like CZW, like Chaotic. They can't
CCW.
hire them all.
Hmm?
They can't hire them all if all that talent gets laid off. This would be a mass layoff, which, even if you don't know how stocks work, you know that when there are massive layoffs, a drop in the stock price share is gonna come. It's gonna come down. And that's when a company is at its most vulnerable for a hostile takeover. If we start noticing that somebody is buying up chunks of WWE stock at a time, specifically the voting stock, um, then someone's getting in there to try and buy Vince out. It's going to be whoever is able to buy Vince out. Should somebody actually get Vince to agree to be bought out? Vince wants to go down with the ship. Vince doesn't want the WWE to exist without him.
You know, it'd be really weird to do an audio experience about pro wrestling and not have WWE to talk about.
I mean, we could do a show full of crickets.
So watch AEW.
I mean, Raw and SmackDown have been really good lately. They've had their odd moments, yes. And AEW has actually been decent.
Well, let's obviously we don't have all the information now, and it's not done. It maybe WrestleMania plans have completely shifted. We're gonna see John Cena beating Roman Reigns for the title in the main event now. I have
Nope.
no idea.
Well, that's funny you should mention it because before Vince left, apparently the match for Cody was him against Cena.
Hmm. Well, I mean, okay, we're getting off subject here, but considering how they're promoting Cody's return on Raw, it seems like they have big aspirations for him.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. Um, Now you said that Raw and SmackDown have been decent, and I mean, yeah, it's been okay, but I mean, it hasn't been like, oh my god, the product is 10 times better without Vince McMahon. I mean, the people that Triple H brought back were less than lackluster at this point. I mean, the only one I feel that really, did anything worthwhile was Bray Wyatt. I mean, we could have honestly, done without the rest of them. But what, what's your feelings about it?
I am all for the talent coming back.
Yeah, but I
I'm
mean, more
especially
than gotten over.
but I'm especially for the talent that wasn't given the chance to get over because of creative and Vince. I mean, hell, Karrion Cross is not being jobbed into obscurity, and hell, Scarlett had her first match in WWE ever on SmackDown.
I mean, you could.
Of course, she was smart enough to wear pasties.
Well, of course. You don't. She's not ready to get that Mandy Rose money yet. Um, so, but I mean, it does seem like in some ways Vince McMahon did have foresight Because Karrion Cross wasn't maybe the monster that Triple H wanted him to be when he came to the main roster. Johnny Gargano, as much as we love Johnny Gargano, hasn't been the guy we know from NXT. I've yet to hear a cheer or a chant for Dexter Loomis. So, I mean, and if I'm being completely honest, would uh, would Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick be on commentary right now if Vince McMahon was still in charge?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Because it's a bad pairing, and I mean they're trying to let it people get used to it, but I could make the argument nobody really wants it. So for all the bad that people say that Vince McMahon does, he does have that vision as well. That maybe he's not as crazy as people think he is. You know what I mean?
I really don't want this to end up being hashtag Vince was right. I swear to God, if that happens, I'll blow my own fucking brains out.
I'm not saying that he's right, but he wasn't. When it comes to how he does things and the product that he puts out, I mean, he's not. He wasn't entirely wrong.
Taking away people's first names, it's devoiding them of identity. I mean,
You you love the idea of a Theory Riddle attack team.
yes, I do though. I mean, they can be called uh, uh, Harlem Hypothesis. I don't know.
Well, all I can say about that is Daddy's home, Theory.
Great. Just when Austin Theory has emerged from his cocoon of being an absolute pussy.
Hopefully they
Just
keep
when we can finally start taking Austin Theory seriously.
Daddy.
Vince comes back and it's like, all right, Theory, suck it.
Of course,
It ain't
Daddy.
gonna suck itself.
Should I get the grapefruits too? Okay,
No, you get the pineapple juice.
I think we're done. I think we're done with this.
Um, Now, I'm sure you addressed this already, but I wasn't here for this. But I just want to say, I told you so about. Oh,
And maybe in like a month or two, I'll be right about Jonah.
yeah. Well, guess what? It looks like Hikaleo could be on his way.
Or Jay White, possibly, too.
Uh, yes, their loser leaves Japan match. Uh, is coming up.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't Loser Leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's Loser Leaves Japan.
Japan. Loser leaves Japan, Japan.
Yeah.
Like not Japan, New Jersey. Japan, Japan.
Well, you do know that there is a New Japan in California, correct?
Yes, I also know there's a Paris in Texas. What's your point?
Well, I mean that they go to New Japan strong, and I imagine that the flight from Florida is a lot quicker to California than it is to Japan.
I mean, don't you mean the Isle of Tonga?
He's not from the Isle of Tonga.
I mean, but he's the brother of Tamatonga,
Yes, he
and
is.
it's known that anybody related to Haku is from the Isle of Tonga.
Sure. Alright, next bit of news that I wanted to talk about. Dax Hardwood has a podcast now, and his first episode was about CM Punk. I mean, nothing controversial. Just saying that he respects the guy, he likes the guy. He wasn't maybe the cancer that people made him out to be in the company. Um, and I think he ended with, I hope that everybody could put this past them, and maybe everybody come back to work. Apparently, this went up AEW's ass the wrong way. Um, Yeah, and he's in hot water because he wanted everybody to get along. In a company where you literally have Andrade punching people so he could get fired, Sammy Guevara mouthing off to literally anybody that fucking listens, uh, Eddie Kingston that clearly has some, uh, um, rage issues, all of these bad and negative things, and all you really get is a slap on the wrist. But you said everybody should get along, so fuck you. How does that make sense?
I mean, AEW is high school. It literally is high school. Uh, you gotta be, you gotta be in a group. You gotta be with the goths. You gotta be with the jocks. You gotta be with the cool kids. You gotta be with the kids who are always in detention. You have to be with the kids who pick their noses. You have to be with the nerds. Uh, the computer nerds, the Dungeons and Dragon nerds, the pro wrestling nerds. The group of awkward kids that refuse to use the showers because they might get sodomized, nerds. Um,
What? What school are you going to?
I don't know, but I never had to shower in school, so Hollywood lied to me about that.
So basically, you're saying Dax Hardwood lost his Eddie Munson.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he's making a safe throw. I mean, he'd have to roll for perception, and I'm not just using these terms because of my recent Dungeons and Dragons experience. Uh, but oh God, you know, only in AEW would you get penalized for saying the right thing. I mean, Dax is not wrong in
No.
everybody should get along and at least be professional. Hell, Bruce, Karen Angle and Kurt Angle were professional enough to compete in a mixed tag match with the guy she left Kurt for. And I mean, do you think there's any like correlation to that and the recent downward trend for FTR?
Well, I mean, those are different companies. But
Yeah, but I mean,
keep in mind, they will have every title on in every promotion except the ones that they were actually contracted to.
maybe it's time Dax fights like an 8-year-old girl.
I mean, like you said, it's me- grown men that work in an office is not AEW style. It's high school. So yeah, but I like Dax. I hope that he doesn't get penalized for this as well. So what clearly he is. And the person penalizing him, the Young Bucks. Apparently, their contracts with AEW expire in a year, and nothing has been signed yet. Is this just a matter of time, or are the Young Bucks actually weighing their options at this point?
Uh, well, I mean, I think they're waiting to see if the hairlines resign.
Hmm. Well, let me ask you this: would AEW be a better place without the Young Bucks?
I don't know if people would care. The young bucks are like sesame seeds. You could take them off the market and nobody would notice.
No, is that
They
just? Oh,
they
continue.
they, they only are known because let's be honest. They threw enough bitch fits saying, "Hey, hey, hey, notice us, notice us, notice us," and nobody stopped to think, why do we know the young bucks?
Because they were in New Japan?
Yes, and do we really know the young bucks for their performance every week? No, we know them more for the occasional stuff they do in the ring and more for the stuff they do outside of it.
Are you talking about the news about them or about being the elite?
I'm talking about all of it.
Are you basically saying that the Young Bucks are the Kardashians of the wrestling world?
I'm saying the young bucks are the FTR of the wrestling world, and the FTR are the Kardashians.
I feel like the FTR does a lot more
Uh,
than the
um,
Kardashians do.
and the ass boys are the Hilton sisters.
Well,
That's hot.
talking about the Ass Boys, Daddy Ass, Max Caster.
Oh,
Yeah,
speaking of which, I found a beat, and pretty soon we're gonna have some hot wrestling with tracks.
sweet. Well,
Yeah, dudes at ringside.
oh, so Max Caster made a diss track on Jeff Jarrett a couple of weeks ago.
Which one? The country song or the diss track from Dynamite?
Um, the one a couple the one a couple weeks ago, and it's a diss track. That's what it does. It's supposed to diss that person, but it seems like the person it actually wasn't about was affected the most about it. Karen Jarrett just flipped out on Twitter on these guys. Um, I'm not into. I'm not well versed in the hippity hop lingo. Scooter, Is she just way off track here? Is she just looking for attention? Or is this a walk?
Uh, I think she heard her name used, and I don't think she bothered to really understand the context.
Hmm.
Um, Kurt didn't give a shit. Jeff didn't give a shit. I mean, total non-stop acclaim, yeah.
Every Wednesday. Alright.
TNAEW.
Um, NWA Power returns to YouTube. This a little too late?
Um, Not only do I think it's late, I think nobody else showed up. The lights are out, and NWA Power is banging on the door, going, "Guys, I'm here. I'm here for the party. Guys, guys, hello."
No, it's a sad situation when you're in front of more eyes on, a laptop screen, and people would rather look up at Impact Wrestling than your product.
I would rather watch paint dry.
Um,
It's like 51% of me would rather watch Impact. 49% of me would rather watch paint dry than
that's a
NWA
shame
Power.
because NWA had a great product a couple of years ago, and then the pandemic just squashed all that, and they've
But
never really
they had,
recovered.
they had the perfect product for the pandemic. Shooting in a studio.
Yeah, and they just
And they and the medium they're on should have taken them further. They were the only live promotion making use of YouTube, and it failed, and it will continue to fail. It will fail just about as much as each reinvention of Lacey Evans,
and that's saying something.
which, by the way, there was another one on January 6th. And this time she's coming back as a Marine with the Cobra Clutch and anti-vax news.
Insurrection, Lacey Evans. I want my country back.
And then somebody makes I got an insurrection for you, and then they get sued for sexual harassment.
Mm, yeah, can't have that. Alright,
Can we talk about like actual in-ring wrestling, please? I never thought I'd say this. Can we please talk about New Japan now? I need a pick me up.
how about we talk, we'll get to New Japan in a moment. How about we talk about Pro Wrestling Tees top sellers of 2022? Do you have
Oh,
any
great,
guesses of
great! Another list for you to butcher.
Do you have any guess of who number one is?
I really want to say it's either Fight Like an 8-year-old girl or Orange Cassidy, whatever.
The top t-shirt seller on Pro Wrestling Tees was Danhausen. Very nice, very evil.
I'm not surprised. Good, good. good for him, man.
I feel the same way. I mean, he's basically the least wrestling wrestler in the world today, and he's selling the most merchandise. Good
I
on
mean,
you,
but
man.
yeah, but I mean, they finally let Danhausen be the actual wrestler, and not they made him wrestle first as the goofy Danhausen, and of course he got taken down in 20 seconds by Tony Nese.
Yes.
But then Danhausen comes and all of a sudden he's got his fucking shirt off and he's fucking Cody cuttering all over the place.
Yeah. No. Let Danhausen do cross his people, make his little songs and his little whatever they are videos, and let him sell merchandise because he's probably making a lot more than a lot of the guys on the roster just talking and showing up.
I mean, pretty soon Ethan Page is going to come out with a shirt saying, "I know Danhausen."
Number two was CM Punk, and number three was MJF. I find it interesting. Number four is The Acclaimed, and number five is John Moxley. Um, that's a good sign to have your champion and your tag team champions in the top five, right?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's great. It means more money Max's mother could spend on me.
Mm.
As I was one of her human suitors, and believe
Human
me,
suitors?
I mean, if you watch Dynamite, MJF talked about Brian Daniels' mother's own not having a non-human suitor, implying his father was a goat. Uh, and Brian went right back at him with, well, yeah, your mom has had many human suitors. Hey, is there anybody in here who hasn't been a human suitor of MJF? In, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if all of them were in the arena tonight. Uh, and given that we're looking at a an an hour long Iron Man match, I mean, if there's anybody who knows about lasting an hour, it's Max's mom and me.
Well, you wanted to talk about wrestling, no? All right. Uh, let's talk about wrestling. Let's talk about Noah. The Great
I like his
Noah
art.
wrestled Shinsuke Nakamura on January 1st. Honestly, great match for what Muda can actually do in the ring. Nakamura looked like the Nakamura of old. What do you think this match tells us going into 2023? Because it kind of seems like anything could happen, and being only, what, 6 days into the year, it kind of already has. But also kind of means to me, you know, don't expect everybody to be where they are. Things can happen. But what say you, Scooter?
I I think this is I think this is a passing of the gimmick.
Ooh,
I mean, given how Shinsuke won,
true.
he stole the mist and the victory.
That he did. It was a, honestly, it was an incredible match, and it just shows what Shinsuke Nakamura used to be. And do you see that he might be doing more things with New Japan? Well, no, not New Japan, but Nova? Or this wasn't a one off because, it was the Great Muda.
I mean, I mean, Muda, Muda is 60 years old. So, I mean, and brought the violins. It was almost like it was a Bob Sapp worthy entrance.
And it is worth mentioning that he was announced as WWE Superstar Shinsuke Nakamura. It was his WWE theme. Nothing was not WWE when it came to Shinsuke Nakamura. They wanted it to be known that he was WWE.
Well, I believe it was known that that was one of the uh, points in the contract, the agreement for allowing Nakamura to do this. Um, yeah, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised, and I can't believe I'm going to bring it back to this.
Nakamura
Is
was one of MJF's Moto Sudo.
that too? Is that Vince saw this and went, "What the hell? I didn't allow this."
What makes you think he watches Noah?
I don't think he did. I think he found it by accident. He was looking for Property Brothers.
Hulk Hogan has a new TV show?
No, not Property Brothers.
Oh.
Not Property Brother. Not proper, comma, brother.
And with that, we'll conclude the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 17. It was January 4th. It took place in the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. Always a special place in my heart, considering that this was one of the first things we ever reviewed on the show. Um, Honestly, it was a great show. It was kind of New Japan of old, kind of getting back to where they was before the pandemic started. And honestly, I'm excited to see what they got coming up in the 51st year of New Japan. Scooter, what was
Uh,
your
you know,
oh Yeah.
You know what? Gotta hand it to Junipan. Absolutely great. The way they say the Hebrew with Junipan, I'm all right. I can't tolerate myself doing that again. It was something, and God, I can't remember my predictions. I also can't remember the last time 3 minutes was a did I just say 3 minutes? Ah!
Damn it, we didn't have the line.
Was a time limit for a dark match.
What was his
A
first
pre-show.
match? So I'm assuming it was just,
I,
a
I mean, a 3 minute exhibition. It's like, hey, go out and practice for
well,
the
yeah,
live
basically,
crowd. Like,
that's basically what it was. And we won't talk about that match because we have no way how to pronounce those names, so we're not.
Ryohei Oiwa, Oleg Bolton.
There you go. It was a draw. Alright, let's get into the first match. The second match on the pre-show. We got the KOPW 2023 Right to Challenge Rambo match. The winners is basically the last four people in the match would go into a fatal four-way the next night on at New Year's Dash. Those four was Sho, Great Khan, Toriano, and Shingo Takagi. The match lasted 30 minutes and 37 seconds. Um, Finally, KOPW was a belt, not a Harbor Lord trophy you get at the dollar store. Have you seen the belt, and do you prefer the
I have
belt or the low trophy?
I have not seen the belt, nor have I seen the trophy, so I cannot give an opinion.
Okay. Uh, well, New Year's Dash was the next night. Shingo Takagi is the 2022 KOP champion, and now the provisional 2023 champion as well. So lots of gimmick matches to come in the new year for Shingo. Alright, Antonio Inoki Memorial Six-Man Tag Match. Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Togi Makabe defeated Tiger Match, Minoru Suzuki, Tetsumi Fujinami in 9 minutes and 10 seconds by pinfall.
Togi Makabe, not Maccabee. It's not a Jew.
They,
It's not a Maccabee.
they pronounce it Makabe. Well,
Well,
anyway.
they're wrong. They're wrong.
Oh, well, whatever.
Believe me, I know Japan. I'm a white American.
But I actually watch New Japan.
I still know more.
What about Minoru Suzuki? A couple weeks ago, he disbanded Suzuki Gun. Already seems like he's trying to recruit new people to become a part of a new faction, so to speak.
I
Um,
mean, I'm wondering if he wishes he had a Suzuki gun to, put him out of his misery. Uh, Maybe he needs to commit Sudoku.
Kamikaze, but
No, no. Kamikaze is when somebody flies a plane into something intending to die. Um,
so Vince McMahon.
yes, yes. Vince McMahon was behind the 7-7. Um, this is like this is like this is like a DLC showcase match for 2K.
Well, What are your thoughts on Suzuki, disbanding one of the better known factions in New Japan, Suzuki Gun?
Honestly, probably good. Good. There needs to be more. Needs to be a little less factions.
Well, that being said, we got a new faction on New Year's Dash. Taichi, um, uh, Taichi, Kanemaru, Doki, and Taka Michinoku have formed a new faction together.
Ooh, Kai and Tai 3000?
No, just four guys.
Four guys. It's got a nice ring to it.
That's the name of the faction. Just four guys.
JFG. Just fucking great.
Alright, first match on the actual card. Um, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. We got Leo Rush and Yo, as the challengers, being defeated by Francisco Akira and TJP in 10 minutes and 29 seconds with a necklock. Um,
You just don't want to pronounce the names of the thieves.
no, it says necklock.
No, you're not sure if it's catch 22, catch 2 halves, catch 2 seconds.
I don't have, I don't have that name
Really?
in front of me.
Really?
No, I
So
don't.
you don't have Leo either.
No, it's Leo Rush, Yo, and against Francisco
Yeah,
Akira and
yes,
TJP.
but Leo Rush and Yo go by the tag team name of Leo.
No, I don't have that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna either add somebody whose name is Nardo or DiCaprio.
Well, they didn't
Or
win.
both.
Well, they didn't win, so I highly and Leo got his face cracked in. So I highly doubt that this tag team's going to continue since Yo defeated Hiromu the next night to get a title opportunity for the junior heavyweight singles title. Um,
Yo!
but honestly, this was a nice way to start the night. Lots of high octane action, nothing crazy, but still good, just good wrestling. How many stars would you give this one, Scooter?
Only because it made Leo Rush not pretty anymore. I will give it 3 stars.
No, Scooter. No. It's
Oh, 20,
this is the fucking Tokyo Dome.
twenty-two
We only
stars.
deal in double digit stars.
Fine, 22!
Okay, I'll give it 30. Alright, second match on the card. Tam Nakano competed against Kyrie for the IWGP Women's Championship. Kyrie won in 5 minutes and 47 seconds with an insane elbow. Honestly, I felt bad for
Tom,
these girls. Nobody really cared about the match. They were only interested with what was going to happen because they knew it was going to happen. And I feel like Tom Nakano just kind of got thrust aside and was essentially an afterthought.
well, I mean, it was a sad day for Thomas Nakano. Um,
Dude, can
uh,
you steal
um,
my gimmick?
I am the man who mispronounces. Um, or if I was going to do an example, Tim knockin', no. Um, yeah, people, yeah, you got disregarded. mainly because of Sasha. Your account is no longer valid at this bank. Um,
Before we get
you
into
know, I'm honestly surprised she didn't keep the name banks or bank, and they gave somebody the name Monet and made them Monet in the bank.
well, how many stars would you
But
give this one?
uh, 10.
I give it 25. Alright, that being said, after the match, it's what everybody expected, it's everybody what everybody wanted. It was the returning Sasha Banks, no longer Sasha Banks, but Mercedes mom.
It's Monet.
No, it's there wasn't a Y, it's
No,
Monet.
but the accent's on the end. It's Monet.
I
Banks. Money.
She doesn't have an accent, she's from America, dumbass. Fucking
You
stealing my
fuck nut.
gimmick.
You know what? She just get. We're just gonna call her Kafka Reeves. How about that?
What was the name we gave her before all of this? Kinshasa Banks.
Yes, Kinshasa
Yeah,
Banks.
there you go.
Or Sasha Boumaye. Sasha Boumaye.
Each ni san da. Okay. Um. Honestly, as much a hype as it was, I didn't feel like I kind of felt like it just like laid flat. Honestly, she kind of came out. It was she botched the move, and then she held the title. I didn't necessarily think it was that big of an impact as it could have been or should have been. Did they do everything they could have, or was it just not was she just not feeling it?
I mean, again, they should have dressed her up as in Mandalorian clothing.
I mean, if Kenny could come out as the one winged angel, she could come out as well. No, doesn't WWE have a partnership with Disney? No, they don't. Alright, so
No.
it would have been a possibility.
And one winged angel wouldn't belong to Disney anyway.
No, I believe
Belongs to
that.
belongs to Final Fantasy.
I didn't say that it did. I'm talking about Mandalorian.
Wow. What?
Later in the night, Kenny Omega came out to the One Winged Angel theme. Um, so I'm saying Sasha Banks, uh, Mercedes Money or whatever the fuck her name is, she couldn't have something Mandalorian.
I mean, she didn't have any actual music associated with her, so
Yeah, true.
I mean, the Mandalorian is like it's well, I mean it's Western theme music with whistles.
Thank you for that music lesson, Scooter.
I
How'd
mean,
you
it would be appropriate, ironically.
did, how'd you feel about her coming? Did you feel like it was anything special? Is it a moment
Quite,
we'll be talking about in
quite,
20 years?
quite honestly, I I completely forgot about it until it happened.
Think she might have too. Alright,
I mean, and supposedly Bailey was backstage.
really?
Apparently, yeah, but apparently Bailey went to Japan. I don't know if she was going as like an emissary or just to support her friend.
Interesting. Well, Did you catch the backstage comments from Mercedes Mon the after the debut?
I don't know. I don't speak Japanese.
Well, neither does she. But essentially, she sat at a table and waited for people to ask her questions.
And nobody asked her anything.
Yes, yeah, and it was honestly, it was it was awkward to the point where they just told her to leave.
Wow. That was quite a crummy scrum.
Yeah,
It
that
was.
hundred
It
thousand
was.
dollars isn't looking too nice at this point. No.
I guess. I guess it's. It's employee time, or it's unemployment time.
Alright, IWGP Tag Team Championship. We got Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, collectively known as Bitchy Man, versus Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood, collectively known as Fuck the Revival. The match lasted 10 minutes 10 seconds.
Oh my god.
Goto
Wait.
became the new champion.
Must not negative 40 degrees in hell today.
Your thoughts on Yoshihashi?
Good for him. He deserves it.
Fuck Yoshihashi. How many stars would you give the match?
Uh, uh, 69.
52.
Bingo.
Alright, next match. And New Japan World TV Championship Tournament Final. Ren Narita lost to Zack Sabre Jr. in 10 minutes 32 seconds with an arm lock cross hold. Zack's your first ever TV champion. As much as I come to despise Zack Sabre Jr., honestly, I'm happy for him. It was a good match, and I think he'll do good with that title. What are your thoughts, Scooter?
Eh, Great. Does ZSJ really need another accolade to add? I mean,
Well, he's never held IWGP
oh well. Then
singles gold.
in that case, good. This title was specifically created so he would stop bitching.
Yeah, and obviously there was a big gigantic hole where Jonah used to be. So TMDK decided to come in and offer Zack a position in the the faction.
The mighty don't kneel. Interesting.
So yeah, he is now TMDK with the other two guys and big teeth.
TMDKZSJ. TMDKZSJ.
All right. Well, how many stars do you give it?
Uh, Blue. Um, 44?
You know what? I agree with you on that one. Alright, Never Openweight Championship match. Tamatonga defeated Machine Gun Carl Anderson in 9 minutes 36 seconds with a gun stun. Honestly, this was a great fucking moment for Tamatonga, finally getting singles gold at the biggest event New Japan has. Um, yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Any comments, Scooter?
Congratulations to Tamatonga. I mean, he really is one of the hardest working people New Japan has, regardless of whether they are, Japanese or Gaijin. Um, and he's he's probably somebody else that's also on the the radar of you know of the WWE. You know, so I think this is another step forward in a long line of good things to come for Tama Tonga.
Absolutely. I give this 65 stars.
I will give it 88 stars per hour.
Alright. Next match, Keiji Muto's last match in New Japan.
Kato. The Orient Express.
Sota Uno, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Keiji Muto versus Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. The match lasted 9 minutes 20 seconds and ended with Sota defeating Bushi with a death rider. You know, it was great that it was his last match. He won the match, but he gave the pinfall to the youngest guy in the ring. Muto, Muda, whatever you want to call him. Classy individual. Glad that he, you know, it's his last matches in pro wrestling, and he's using it to promote and help younger talent. Looking at you, Ric Flair. Um, what are your thoughts on Keiichi Muto's last New Japan match?
Uh, I mean, what a way to go out in your last New Japan match, where you're an afterthought.
I'd say that he was an afterthought.
I mean, nine minutes, and he doesn't even get the pin, the win for his team.
I mean, he got the win, but he let
I mean,
his.
yeah, but he should have. But he, it's tradition that if it's your last match, you you know, and you're in a tag team match, you get you're involved in the decision.
Well, I kind of prefer that he wasn't a part of the decision. He he was in the ring while the pin was made, but you know he don't need that
Huh?
pinfall to beat Keiichi. Soda could actually use it, and he is using it as a rocket to bigger and better things.
Now, here's the thing: years down the line, I know I'll remember because I have memory like an elephant. But will you honestly remember that this was Muto's last New Japan match?
Well, I think I might just because what's to come. He had the one with Nakamura, and he's having the one with Sting and Darby Allin next month. So I think I will, and maybe in a year's time, we don't know what Soda's going to be doing, and it might be something great, and it's a nice starting point to say, well, Soda was in Muto's last match, one of his last matches, and that was the starting point for him. That that being said, um, this was not a great use of Tetsuya Naito, no?
Also,
Hmm?
yeah. Also, again, guy goes to waste.
And it just seems like they're starting to phase him out when he's still one of the hottest guys in pro wrestling in New Japan. There are maybe half the crowd still wears LIJ merchandise in the crowd, and they still don't see him as that guy, and that's kind of frustrating. But we shall see what happens with him. He has a date with Noah in a couple in like a week or two, so we'll see. All right, how many stars, Scooter?
55.
I agree with that. All right, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship four-way match. With Master Wano, El Desperado, Hiromu Takahashi, and Taichi Ishimori. The match lasted 16 minutes, 43 seconds. Hiromu defeated Master Wano with a time bomb to win the title. Good match. If I had any complaints about it, it would be that Hiromu didn't pin the champion. He literally pinned the weakest guy in the match. Um, does that sound like for you, Scooter, or do you say, well, a win is a win is a win?
A win is a win is a win, especially when the person I really thought should have won it didn't.
Who was you going for?
I believe I went with Desperado.
Yeah, I have no idea. Well, it was definitely not Desperado. Alright, I give this 70 stars. Scooter?
Uh, 71.
Okay. The next match, IWGP US Heavyweight Championship double main event. Will Ospreay lost to Kenny Omega in 34 minutes and 38 seconds with a one-winged angel. My God, what a match! Um, you know, these last couple of years, you kind of forgot who Kenny Omega was, and I think we kind of were all reminded of who Kenny Omega could be when he's in there with talent that could actually go. Scooter, your thoughts?
I really did not think Kenny Omega was actually going to come back to the States with an IWGP title
Don't think
again.
anybody really did.
Um, it. I mean, this was truly truly one of the two matches of the night.
Honestly, I thought this was the match of the night. This was number one. This was, we're gonna be talking about Omega, Okada and White in a couple minutes. This blew it out of the water. That had no chance. Um, it was just again, you forget how good Kenny Omega is, and I think we were all kind of reminded. I think even Will Ospreay was reminded because he fucking butchered this guy. He was beaten, battered, bloodied. He got his licks in. Kenny had a black eye after the match. Um, but I mean, he was the one holding the title at the end of the night. So it goes to show you he's still Kenny Omega. Um, this does mean that we're gonna see more Kenny Omega in New Japan. Where do you think that's gonna go, Scooter?
Um, honestly, I don't know at this point.
I don't know when Kenny's contract when AEW expires. But do you think that he might New Japan might slip under a rug and uh, get get Kenny Omega to re-sign with the company full time again?
I doubt it.
Why is that?
I doubt it. I'm betting they probably want Kenny at New Japan Strong.
I Honestly, I don't think so. I think that they would want Kenny Omega where he is. Just come in for the big matches and not much more. I mean, he's a big attraction, especially in Japan. I think he got maybe one of the loudest ovations anybody got that night. All right. How many stars, Scooter?
98.
99. Alright, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Kazuchika Okada defeated Jay White in 33 minutes and 3 seconds. Rainmaker to win the title. This was roughly 1 minute 30 seconds less than the other match, the match we just spoke about. Um, I don't know why, but Jay White doesn't seem like the main event of Wrestle Kingdom material anymore to me. What are your thoughts on Jay White?
Fuck Jay White.
Okay.
Uh, uh, I mean, yeah, I think, you know what? I think Jay White really I think his time actually. I think you're right. I think his time may be up in New Japan.
I mean, it's not like he hasn't done everything there is to do in the company, because he has. He's the first Grand Slam champion. Does Jay White go to a WWE? Does Jay White go to AEW? Does Jay White go to Impact? Does he go to NWA? I know you were high on the fact that he might be going to WWE maybe last year or the year before that.
Yeah.
But and now he's having a loser leaves Japan match. Does he go to does he lose that match to Hikuleo? Because it doesn't seem like New Japan wants to let him go.
I think they'll keep him around. I think Hikuleo is going to go before Jay White does. Who knows? Maybe they'll double pin and both go.
Wow. Alright. Um how many stars, Scooter?
99.9.
I give it 79. Alright. That will conclude our coverage of NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 17 um, and this episode as a whole. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and KO1 Coffee. Join us at least on Wednesday for a new interview. Who it will be, we don't even know. Um, And of course, you can find out who that might be in the coming days on our official Twitter handle at Wrestling with E, but on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can they find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust. Of course, find me, James, and Ryan Dust hosting what is likely going to be the last remix on YouTube, a premium audio companion experience for all your alternate commentary needs for WWE Premium live events. Next time we come to you is, of course, the final time we come to you as of right now. WWE Royal Rumble on the 28th. My new album is coming along. Again, it's titled A Million BB Rexes Equals One Conway Twitty. And just during this broadcast, I can confirm that my second single dropping from it is Burns When I Pee Part 3, featuring John Mayer's Urologist. And catch me on, not on Twitter again, on Twitch, as I indulge in my Dungeons & Dragons campaign. It's coming to an end very soon. Catch me, along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the crew of Legends of Arcadia episode of Thea and the rest of the Smoky Dragons clan. New episodes every Saturday live on twitch.tv/Smoky Dragons. Next day on YouTube. Oh, God, I forgot how to do that.
Yeah, we're getting rusty, aren't we?
Yep, literally.
Yeah. This scooter has patina on it. Alright, for Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Burns, what up, piggy?
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.